Will Ospreay, Swerve Strickland closes the show in the finals of the Owen tournament. They did this amazing video of Ospreay voiced by Jon Moxley, the Morgan Freeman of AEW, and taking in Will when you were at your lowest. We didn't break you. You just weren't finished yet. I mean, it was just a great voiceover from from Moxley. And then it was, let's just go for the most insane entrances we can muster up, starting with Will Bane Ospreay coming out with a fucking legit Bane mask, protruding smoke out of it. Dude, this was nuts. This was all things like Triple H would have like been aroused by watching this.
Oh yeah, he would love this.
So then Swerve comes out on this big motorcycle with a cigar. Quite the contrast here.
Lobo.
Is this Lobo? I don't know anything about Lobo. Okay.
He's in the Supergirl movie coming up.
Okay. All right. Well, I think I'm not alone in people that didn't watch that this weekend.
Yeah, probably not. No.
We start things off and house call, hidden blade, immediately avoided. And so Swerve goes to the neck of Will that you knew would be a big focus of this. He's taunting Will, always being a step behind, and this angers Ospreay, who fires off forearms, and they just have the crowd from the get-go. They do this great exchange.
And keep in mind, at least for us, like we're watching this at 12:15 a.m. We're watching this on Monday morning. The crowd there are watching it at 9:15, very respectable time, but they've seen a lot of wrestling by this point.
They've been seated here for a long time. Like, look at it the other way, is that they've been in their seats since like 3:30 local time.
Including, you're talking about the buy-in, right?
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, but this crowd did not die. Was there a match on this pay-per-view card that you felt like the crowd dipped for?
I don't really think so.
I didn't feel that at all. Like, I didn't feel any lull on this show. So they have this great exchange ending with a Swerve powerbomb into the power slam. And then we go to the ground, and we knew we had to get it once, the death ground. Onto the floor. Yep. I'm ready for him to turn this one in. And it's broken up by, this is exactly the Gracie technique of coffee. The ultimate escape.
I'm sure that's in, Gracie fundamentals.
Yeah, I missed that on the Gracie in Action series. Yeah. Yes. Just pour coffee on the fucker. And so it turns into an apron bomb for Swerve. And then he catapults Will underneath the turnbuckle. And have you ever been catapulted underneath a turnbuckle?
Close, but no, I'm not.
It can cut you badly, is what I learned here. Mm-hmm. Okay. Because Will comes up and the man's ready for a transfusion, and he is bleeding quite a bit. And we get a house call, caught by the Spanish Fly, and Will hits a stun dog and a Styles Clash. Swerve then absorbs a hidden blade, and dude just no-sells it. Okay. He's like Road Warrior Hawk taking Lawler's pile driver and hits his own, dropping Will. And now Swerve goes for a power bomb off the top turnbuckle, and Will turns this into a Rana in midair. The fact that both these men have put on some size over the years, that made this one extra impressive that they did it as smoothly as they did.
Not to mention the blood that was like, that they were covered with, that the turnbuckles were covered with, Like,
dude, this was turning into like, it was only going to get worse. Once Swerve got opened up and we had like gushers going, all I want to know is that there was a moment in Nigel McGuinness's life when he made a concrete decision that, you know what, there's a fork in the road here. I'm either going to work for AEW or I'm going to be against, I'm not going to go into a ring if there's been blood earlier. And now, dude, they're just like, they're painting the whole ringside blood
on his desk, on his very desk. And, Excalibur kind of alluded to it,
his exact words were Nigel, your career, it ended.
Yeah. I couldn't help but just think about Nigel, like in all of this, but I mean,
did anyone watch my fucking DVD?
Yeah. Well, this is the company
he had to make a choice. That's all I'm saying is like, okay, I'm going to get to wrestle at Wembley. So you know what? Maybe this blood stuff ain't so bad. So they continue here, and Ospreay takes Swerve, and you're thinking he's going for another Styles Clash on the floor, but instead he violently swings this man into the steps, and he puts everything, his hips just like, dude, this hip movement, he sent him so hard into these steps that you had no believability gap of this man coming up and slice to shit here, because he is covered. Like, Will's bleeding a good amount. Swerve went fucking Great Muta here on a 10. He was covered and he's leaking. It's like you could not see this man's skin under this blood.
No, and of course, like I thought he had a pretty famous blade job in that in the first Page match. This, I feel, topped that. Like, I don't know if I've seen anybody.
Dude, when they showed the bottom of Will's shoe, his boots are covered. They showed the floor that just looked like it had been just totally covered in plasma.
Yeah, like, it's the type of blood that I feel like if I used it for our thumbnail for any of our videos, it would probably get flagged.
Oh, it's like Blue Sky would probably, ring up charges on you. He goes for an Os cutter, only gets a 2 count, and he starts driving elbows into the back of Swerve's neck. And Paul Turner pulls him off. I hate this spot in wrestling. It's like, it's over. It's the TKO. It's a TKO finish. I hate this spot.
What constitutes a standing 10 versus just a plain, referee stoppage? Right.
It was just this spot. Of all the things we saw in this match, this was the only one that constituted the need for a standing count. So Will just goes to the corner and he hunches over, waiting for Swerve to get to his feet at 9 and blasts him with another hidden blade. Ospreay gets stopped on the buckle, and a Swerve stomp is hit to the back of the neck. House call and hidden blade are hit by each man, with each kicking out at 1 before they collapse. So the audience is on their feet. They're going nuts. They struggle and they have a standoff in the corner, and they decide they're just going to go here. Like 2 bulls coming out of the corner, and they charge at each other with Will hitting the hidden blade, Stormbreaker, and Swerve kicks out. The crowd's going crazy. He shoves Ospreay towards Paul Turner, kicks him low, and hits the vertebraker. But now Ospreay kicks out at 2. Crowd can't believe it. There's a hidden blade and a big pressure for 2. And now the Death Riders appear, and they're rallying. They're chanting for Will. He eats a house call, and instead of going down, he just turns his head to Moxley, and he sees him, and he roars in defiance. Hidden blade is delivered, and then he hits a buckshot hidden blade. I thought for sure this was the finish, but Swerve,
because you've never seen it before.
He's never done this, and he has proven that someone outside of Adam Page can do the buckshot movement. I thought no one could, because I've seen so many try terribly, but this guy did do it pretty seamlessly. Great kick out, hits the paradigm shift to Swerve, hits the Death Rider, but then he rolls and he hooks the arms and he elevates Swerve for the Tiger Driver 91. Now, the only thing is just they cut to Moxley because they want to see his reaction, which makes sense, but you kind of like miss the impact momentarily. It was just an awkward cut, but they did show the replay here. But the idea was like Moxley has now seen him become the killer by using the move he swore he would never use again. His work is done, basically, is what Moxley's. So it was a worthwhile cut. It's just it came right at the money shot.
Right.
And he hits the Tiger Driver, wins the match. How long did we go here? It went 35 minutes and 6 seconds as Ospreay wins, and it's the big, 35 minutes, dude. Ospreay comes over. He has words with Swerve. The Death Riders present him with the Owen belt and the trophy. They lift him up, and they did this interesting spot where he's on the floor, and in one side, the Death Riders are leaving through the crowd to their they've got neck bridges to do tonight, and Alex Windsor comes down to be with Will, and Will leaves with Alex Windsor. It's like we go our separate ways after this, and that's how the show ends, with Will just holding up the trophy. The big Will Ospreay is all in sign, and he says, "I'll see you at Wembley," to cap off our 5 hour and 54 minute show. I really loved that women's Owen final, but that was number 2 to this match. I just thought this was absolutely a match of the year contender. Shivani says if this doesn't win match of the year, I don't know what to tell you. This might win. This might win for some. This is certainly turning into a race this year. I think Tanahashi and Okada is in the mix. I think the El Grande match is in the mix. And I think I'd throw this one in too, because this was as epic as it comes. And Ospreay has to top this in 2 months.
Oh my God. So I was a bit shocked at hearing 35 because it's one of those matches that don't feel like that at all. Like, and we're talking about this at 12:15 a.m. for us after having watched like 4+ hours, 5 hours of wrestling. This was the rightful main event, even after that incredibly crazy cage match, which I thought was awesome. Like, this was the type of match where by the end of it, I feel like I feel. And I don't say it definitively because I'm terrible at these sort of ranking things, but like I feel like this was one of the best matches I've ever seen. Like, that's the type of feeling you get because you just saw these two men like just completely exhaust themselves, delivering like perfection, in all of their execution of everything that they were dreaming and thinking of. Like, they're both perfect opponents for each other because they're both so incredibly athletic, so creative that anything they can think about, like they were doing sequences that I don't even think we could fully appreciate watching in real time. Like, they're the type of sequences that you kind of have to like slow down, rewatch them to really study what each person was going for and countering and then recountering, I thought they really hit on every level of, I think, what you'd look for as a professional wrestling fan, between the athleticism here to, I think, the storytelling. Like, the motivations of both men were so well established in that promo segment, and all throughout the match, you just felt Ospreay going for not just a win here, not just the Owen Cup, but his childhood dream. And for Swerve, you felt him going for recognition and respect, and the idea that he's no longer going to be taken a backseat, no longer going to be overlooked for anybody, including Will Ospreay. That desperation, I thought, played itself out throughout the course of this match because both men were willing to die for this outcome. So between the story and the motivation, Swerve just is outstanding. What a big game player, like, to the highest degree. The match layout was just incredible. Like, this was the type of match where like there were numerous kickouts, but I thought each one of them were justified because you just wanted to convey everybody, like both men just putting everything they could into the match. It gave you gore, gave you story, gave you athleticism, and I don't know if Ospreay Kenny will top this. Like, I'm say it right now.
I'll say, like, at the 15-minute mark, I was thinking to myself, I was like, this could have so easily headlined Wembley. Like, this match could have headlined Wembley, of like Swerve going in as your heel champion. I mean, that's one option. I was thinking, like, very similar to you, of like, listen, Ospreay and Omega, they're going to have all the history behind it. I'm sure it's going to be incredible. But if I was Kenny Omega watching this and knowing that, my God, like, we have to outdo this, because this could have easily been like they wrestled this like this was the culminating match of the entire year. That's how they worked this one. That's how it delivered. I just thought this was incredible. I think this was one of the great AEW matches of all time. I thought it was, up in that discussion point. It's July on the Post Wrestling Cafe, and that means our extensive G1 coverage begins starting July 11th. We're going to have reviews of every single G1 card right up to and including the finals in the middle of August. Plus, Rewind Away takes a look at 2 episodes of Heels. We're also going to be going back to 2005 for a review of WrestleMania 21, and it is the start of our double shot episodes covering this season of Dark Side of the Ring. Plus, we are going to dive into the 3rd season of WWE Unreal. All that and so much more can be yours by signing up to the Post Wrestling Cafe. It gets you XL editions of Rewind to Raw, Dynamite, and SmackDown, Collision Course on a weekly basis, MCU later, and so much more.